everyone, welcome to Crafting in Quarantine. My name is Dabney. I'm the young adult librarian at the Twin Lakes Library System and I use they, them pronouns. For today's episode, we are going to be making some bracelets in honor of Banned Books Week. And as we make the bracelets, I am going to be talking to you all some more about Banned Books Week and also probably, if I have time, giving you a couple book recommendations. So first of all, what we're going to be using in today's craft is some alphabet beads. So they're just these little beads that have letters on them because I wanted to make one or maybe two, if we have enough time, bracelets. So I have one bracelet laid out and it says I read banned books, and in between the little words I'm putting some perler beads. I don't have any other kinds of beads at my apartment currently, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to be using some filament. You could also use like fishing twine, whatever you have at home. Thread works. Got my scissors here. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna get started, and this is honestly the easiest craft in the world, and why I wanted to do it is the American Library Association. They have on their banned books page, they have like merch you can buy, like t-shirts and buttons and mugs and bags and all that cool stuff, and I always wish I could buy some, but you know, have a budget to stick to. So I was like, you know what, I'll make a bracelet and you guys can make a bracelet, and you know, it's very easy. We're just stringing beads onto here. So cut off some filament and I'm just going to tie this at the end just to kind of start us off, but I'm going to leave some space at the end of it, some like string here in case I decide I want to add beads this way. I'm not sure how this layout is going to look, so we're going to do that. But yeah, Banned Books Week, every year, basically this time of year, the American Library Association's Office for Intellectual Freedom puts out, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. I'm like, I think it's the, yeah, the Office for Intellectual Freedom. They compile a list of the top 10 most challenged books for the year. So these are books from like 2019, and the way they get those numbers is like it's from people like reporting to them like, hey, this book was challenged, or from news stories. And you know, I think it says there was like over 500 like books that were challenged. So the top 10, almost all of them are children's books, but there were a few young adult books. So for the young adult books, there was Beyond Magenta, Transgender Teens Speak Out, and this is one that we have in our nonfiction collection at the Hancock branch. And then the other one was Harry Potter, that series. So Beyond Magenta, that one was challenged for its LGBTQIA plus content, and this is a quote, let's see, and for, quote, its effect on any young people who would read it, end quote, and for concerns that it was sexually explicit and biased. And then the Harry Potter series, this one was challenged for referring to magic and witchcraft, for containing actual curses and spells, and for characters that use, quote, nefarious means to attain goals. So those are young adult books. And then there's one adult book, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And then the others are all children's books. So like either middle, like some middle grades, but mostly pictures books. So I'll just read those out to you. And I'm also going to have this list and more information linked in the video so you guys can read like more about it. But the books are George by Alex Gino, A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo by Jill Twiss, Sex is a Funny Word by Corey Silverberg, Prince and Knight by Daniel Hawk, I Am Jazz by Jessica Herthel and Jazz Jennings, Drama, which is a graphic novel written and illustrated by Raina Telgemeier, and then Antango Makes Three by Peter Parnell and Justin Richardson. Okay, so our bracelet's done. Ta-da! Alright, I don't know why I pushed this back up, because now I need to go back down here and look at it. So let's see if this is big enough for my wrist. It is not. So I need to add, let's see, more to this. I'm always really bad about getting like the size of bracelets right. So what should we do? I'm just going to add another rainbow, because why not? So Banned Books Week, you know, when I first started working at the library and like putting displays together for it, some people kind of had the wrong idea. Like they thought I was celebrating like banning books, and I was like, no, that's not what we're excited about. You know, we're raising awareness about it, because, you know, usually what happens is a parent or somebody finds a book in the library collection, or usually in a school library collection, and they read it and they think, I don't want my child to read this, and therefore I don't think any child or any person, depending on like what age the book is targeted for, but they just decide like they don't agree with this book and nobody should read it and it should be removed, which is censorship. And so, you know, obviously libraries are against censorship. We believe, you know, in providing information and books to all people and kind of just letting everyone decide for themselves like what they want to read. You know, if you don't like a book, you don't have to read that book, but you shouldn't decide that like nobody can read this book just because you don't agree with it. Okay, I'm just going to tie this in a knot. It's going to be a big bracelet. That's okay. I don't have any clasp for this. So once I get some clasp, I can, you know, fix this, make it a bit better. Yeah, this is really big on my wrist. I'll probably take out like one of the rainbows. But yeah, there we go. I think I'm not going to make the other bracelet right now. So there is I read band. Oops, the A got mixed up. Banned books. So, yes, we are against censorship. We want people to be able to have, you know, free access to information and the books they want. And, you know, I was thinking about, like, the books that were on the list, and I actually own one of them, Prince and Knight, which is a really cute picture book. I believe we have this in our children's collection. But some of the criticism that is targeted towards books like this is that, kind of people think like this is corrupting kids to see like, a same-sex relationship, to see like two guys falling in love and getting married, like, oh, this is gonna ruin my child's life or whatever. But I mean, on a personal perspective, I mean, I'm non-binary and asexual, and I never saw those type of people or those words in books until I was definitely way into my late 20s. So those are just things that I learned about myself as I grew up, and that's not anything that happened because I read it in a picture book. But I think with books, it's important to have lots of books that address all different kinds of experiences and backgrounds, because we're all different, and we all want to be able to find ourselves in books and come to understand ourselves better through books. And even like more important, I think, is to understand others through reading books. I recently read This Is My America by Kim Johnson. The main character is a black teen girl, and reading that book, like, so many of her experiences I've never dealt with, and it was just really important and fascinating to read this and to learn about what other people are going through, and then at the same time kind of look at their experiences in society and try to understand that, and it helps us understand our society better and the flaws within the systems that we currently live and operate in. So anyways, it's kind of a ramble, but I really believe books are important, and when people try to remove a book because they do not agree with the content in that book, that's doing a disservice to the community at large. So essentially that is why librarians, we work so hard to defend our books and to suppress censorship, because it's the right of people to read, and we're here to, like, I think, what is it, the Office of Intellectual Freedom. That's what we're about, intellectual freedom, and not closing down people's access to information and stories. So there's a lot. You can read more about that. I'll have some more information posted in the videos. But I did also want to kind of give a couple book recommendations, because I love to give book recommendations. But one is a manga series. This is Library Wars. This is one of my favorite series. It's also an anime. But in this, it's set in Japan, but there has been a change within society, and there's this division between people who want to censor information, and then the libraries. So the libraries literally have armed soldiers who are trained both as librarians and soldiers to defend the library against attacks on the library, where people from the government, the censorship office or whatever, will try to attack libraries and take the books. There have been incidences within this series where people have been killed trying to defend the library. So this just totally interesting story. I love all the characters in it. Kasahara, she's the main character, and she's just like, extremely passionate about what she's doing. She's not like the sharpest person ever, but she's very dedicated, and she's here to be like the best. And she also really, really loves books, and so it's a good story. Kind of similar but different. This is one of my favorite young adult series, The Great Library by Rachel Caine. So this is book 4, Smoke and Iron. I just finished this last night. It's so good. And Sword and Pen, which this is the last book, book 5, and I'm probably going to read it this week because I'm like dying to know what's going to happen. But in these books, like in this world, it's like an alternate history where the Library of Alexandria becomes the Great Library. So it's this like global force, like kind of even higher than any government or country within the world. Like the library is sort of over everyone else, and they control the flow of information. And the main characters within this series, when it starts out, like they're recruited to train to become librarians, and for them this is like kind of the best job you could possibly have, like really well respected. And they soon start to find out that there are these massive flaws within the library. Like some of them come into it, like our main character Jess, and he's already aware of some of the problems within the library, but the others start to find out that basically the Great Library has been censoring and suppressing information almost since the beginning, and even killing people who like go against them, or who have like are free thinkers or whatever. And the one, this is a minor spoiler, but I'm just gonna say it. The main thing you find out that they've been suppressing is information on how to create a printing press and get information out there through a printing press. So anyways, they have to kind of like, they're trying to figure out how to like overthrow the library and return it to like its initial, purpose, which was to preserve information and to protect information, not to censor and suppress it. So, Banned Books Week, I will have a more complete reading list of like things you could read for that. But yeah, I just encourage you all to think about that and read up on it some more. And yeah, read banned books. But yeah, I'm sorry I kind of hijacked Crafting in Quarantine to talk about books, but it's, relevant. So I will see you all next time. Bye.